tell me what it feels like to get this induction honor.
I've been dealing with imposter syndrome, to be honest with you. I really have a hard time with it. Today, I've chosen to accept it with full gratitude, and I'm blown away. I really never thought that I'd be on this end of the receiving part of the Hall of Fame. I love the music education part of OMHOF. It's been a big thing for me, and I was on the board for almost 7 years because I really felt like music education was something that needed to be sustained. And Terry has done an amazing job with it. The board has been phenomenal. When I was notified, I really struggled with how many people I felt like were more worthy before me. And Terry had mentioned that it was about character and contributions outside of just being on stage or albums that we put out or anything. And then, I really felt like this community meant so much to me, and being recognized for that, it validated a lot of that work. So I'm grateful for it. I really feel like it's the legacy of Oregon Music Hall of Fame is something that blows my mind to be a part of, because there's so much history here, and it has been formative in almost everything I've done. My kids are very proud. My parents, who I'm completely responsible, or they're responsible for everything I've done in music, have traveled from Montana, and so this is a nice cherry on top of the big old sundae of rock and roll that I've had. So
let's talk about your drumming.
Sure.
Influences. I've never seen you play. I'm going to try to remedy that by going to YouTube or wherever. But
sure.
But everything I've read about the way you play is magnificent. I mean, but what? Tell me as a drummer, what makes you flow?
Well, I can tell you what makes me maybe different from some of the other drummers that we've been touring with and playing with. I was a clarinet player when I first started out. My dad was a Dixieland jazz player, and as soon as I saw my uncle, who was a prominent jazz drummer in Chicago, as a mid-teenager, that changed everything for me. And MTV was in its formative years, and I saw Tommy Lee up there, and I thought, I would imagine that guy has a lot easier time making girlfriends than the clarinetist. So that was a part of it. And I was an angry teenager, because everybody goes through puberty and their hormones are flowing and nothing in the world makes sense. And getting to play drums was a passionate thing as a way to not only get out your angst, but communicate beyond verbal. I grew up in the mountains in a log cabin in Montana, and so I'd set up my stereo outside the cabin and just cut loose. I mean, everything that I needed to get out was done there, and it's continued to now. As the world became difficult with pandemics and politics and finances and all this other stuff, the respite has been on stage, and I'm so in my element on stage. The greatest feeling on the planet is to play drums, and play drums with people that I enjoy, and play drums for people that enjoy it. And so there's a synergistic thing. I want to do it till I die. I mean, that'd be the best place to go out, is on stage, the heart attack, as long as nobody else was, left affected. But yeah, I love it.
Let's get back a little bit to your feelings about this. So you've been involved with OMHOF. You know the musicians who have been inducted. Mm-hmm. Now you're part of this whole thing.
Yeah, incredible. There are so many musicians that have been inducted that I'm so proud to call friends, and I've felt like they represented Oregon in a fantastic way, and it's such a special place for me. I really feel like what Portland represented in the overall sort of musical shift that the band I'm playing in is from Liverpool, right? So obviously there are a few influences from Liverpool that have made an impact on the world. Portland, has really put a place on the map. And the first band that I joined on Alama when I first came to Portland was a wide-eyed, early 20s something that was just determined to get a record deal, tour the world, but make a difference with any success that we could have. And as time has gone on and many bands have transpired between then and now, I felt like there were other ways that I can make a difference too. I've been involved with a lot of musical groups that were able to contribute. Started a nonprofit called Horns for the Homeless, where we actually brought horns and musical influence to help compassion through music in this community. And I think a lot of people were on board because they saw that the homeless situation, while in Portland it's obviously a real difficult thing, it's like that everywhere. And using social media to be able to communicate that message so that expanded in places like Seattle and LA and even around across the country and internationally, there was awareness that compassion through music could actually make some kind of an impact on people that are really struggling. So being able to do that with a variety of people that really care about the community has been really special. I know that Oregon Music Hall of Fame recognizes some of that, and for that I feel like it really has been a synergistic thing. I feel like they are everything to me.